I'm Trina, and I'm amazingly powerful.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Thank you. And my brag is I'm going to Houston in July.
Wow.
Are you going as rep?
I am.
Oh, good for you. Congratulations. I'm not going this year, but congratulations.
I'm
sorry, you're going as well?
Oh, union rep.
Oh,
Delegate.
nice.
Yes.
That's nice.
I'm excited. Welcome.
I'm Caitlin.
Hi, Kate.
I'm really excited to be here too, to let everyone know. I think today, I'm not sure if I'm going to go with it the whole time, but I am strong.
Yes, you are.
And my brag is that last night I went to the Phillies game and I didn't eat anything there. And I feel really good about myself.
That's wonderful. That's great. Could you tell them what day you are on your detox?
Day 6.
Day 6.
Wow.
I feel good.
Good.
That's great. And what did you tell me this morning about your cravings for sugar?
So sugar is like my big thing, and I love sugar. But the first day was a little rough, and then after that, I feel good. You know, I'm not craving to, eat sugar. I feel a little bit weird because I'm so used to like going to eat those Oreos or like, that cheesecake or something that I kind of feel like I don't know what I should go for now because I'm so used to that. But I'm not craving it, which is a plus in my book. So I feel good.
Great. Thank you, and welcome to our group. I really wasn't letting anybody into the group after, I think it was like March something, but Caitlin comes to our bar classes, and she just was such a sweet person. So I'm like, okay, let's give her this opportunity. So I hope you all welcome her into this group, and so help her on this 21 days that you all have already accomplished. So, just help her feel welcome, please. Thank you.
You'll do great.
Hi, everybody. My name's Janine, and I am capable of continuing to make healthy choices for a better life.
Yes, you are.
Thank you. I told Lisa if I pass out, it's because these jeans are really tight around my waist. But I don't think I've had them on in I don't even know that. I've had these jeans on in a long time.
That's beautiful. Thank you for showing us your sexy jeans. Love it.
I probably look like a sausage right now.
That's wonderful. Like it's worth saving them, right? Like you got to put them on. It's just an inspiration, Good for you.
I'm Christina. I'm proud of my accomplishments. I am something else, but I forgot. I'm being positive. I forgot what I was telling you. I was complimented recently by a couple people, so that made that my.
That's great.
Well, I'm Donna, and I'm deserving of love.
Yes, you are.
And I guess my brag is Easter. I had it at my house. I made Easter baskets for everybody, had candy out, and I had probably 2 jelly beans in that.
Wow.
Being a sugaraholic like you are.
That's great, Donna.
Okay, I'm Kim, and I'm physically strong.
Yes, you are.
My brag is, because I really want to be strong, I have an attic that I can never get anything in and out of, and I had my summer clothes that I had to change over, and I was able to get them in and out by myself, and 90% of my summer clothes had to go to Goodwill.
That's wonderful.
That's right.
That's great. And the only stuff that didn't was the stuff that I kept holding on to before I get that.
Well, you are.
Yeah, you will. All right, I'm Casey, and I am confident in my own decisions.
Yes, you are.
And I guess my brag would be I'm starting school again, and you guys probably know I'm getting married in like a month, so I'm trying to be more positive with starting school right now, having 3 classes, and getting married. Lots of stuff going on. So I'm working on positivity. Yeah, working 2 jobs. Yeah, forgot about that part. So yeah, that's my brag. Positive.
I'm Georgia, and I am an amazing woman.
Yes, you are.
And my brag is I think it is that I'm putting my garden fence up this weekend. I think it really is because I've been like, what it means much more. Why you're like, it's just a garden fence, but it means that I've kind of committed to staying. It's like, it's yeah, it's big. So, so that's me.
Good for you.
I'm Shakira.
I am powerful. I am divine. I am wonderful.
I'm not. I am driven, I guess. Maybe that?
Yeah, of
Yes.
course. You are.
My brag is I don't have an aneurysm.
Yay! That's a really great brag. I'm so happy.
I'm not trying to top it. But, okay. Hi, I'm Lisa, and I'm loving. And thank you. Thank you.
Yes, you are.
But I feel like I'm moving that even into a different space. Actually, Lisa, I think, like last time you said I'm deserving of love. Was that you? Somebody
That's
said.
Donna.
Oh, okay, I'm deserving of love. And like I've kind of realized that I am a loving person, that I kind of have lost a little sight of that. But I deserve love, and so I'm tacking that on. So yay. And my brag is we adopted a barn cat that is coming to us on Tuesday. It's a rescue. And it's just cool. I wanted an outdoor cat. I didn't know how to do it or how to manage it, but you can adopt it, and they walk you through the whole process, and it really is in line with our healthy lifestyle. They'll get outside with the chickens, protect the garden, and all that. So that's my brag.
Yay! So exciting.
Hi, I'm Carol, and I'm amazing.
Yes, you are.
And my brag is I've been to 3 classes this week.
Wow.
And I know I missed you because you didn't have the and the she makes grunt sounds.
All of us. She makes the grunt sounds, right?
All of us, right? And it was hard this morning.
Yeah.
A good heart. Yes,
That's good.
That's
though.
right.
That feels good. Hi, I'm Lisa, and I'm a positive influencer.
Yes, you are.
And my brag is that I decided that, like, I've been trying to come to as many yoga as I can. I hit 1 or 2 a week. And then I also do the round of exercises that Georgia gave us a while ago in our last session. So I do that every day, but I knew that I had to add something else to kind of get going. So I started walking now. So I've been walking for a couple weeks now. I walk on either the treadmill or outside 4 nights a week, 2 miles each time. So I'm I'm happy. I'm not, I'd rather do the other exercises, but I'm bringing this in. I'm going to kind of embrace this and bring it in and keep doing it.
Good. Good girl.
I'm Cheryl, and I'm amazing.
You are.
My brag is, I don't know if everyone knows that my daughter is a chef. So everything we do in my life revolves around food everywhere we go. And we were in New York City last week to Italy. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of Italy. But I did not purchase one item that was processed. I came home with like red lentil pasta, everything that I would never have purchased before. I changed my whole thing, which for me is really big because normally I would have come home with like pasta. And I thought, wow, that's the first time I really had mindful gross shopping
at a gourmet
place. It was unbelievable. Like I just couldn't believe it. And we went to both of them in New York City.
You went to both of them?
No, we had a class. Oh, that was the other thing. We had a class to learn how to make arancini, the rice balls. Oh. And it was really interesting because the chef was telling us, she said, I told her I'm not eating rice or much rice. She said, oh, you can try to make them out of cauliflower rice. Oh. And I'm like, okay, well, what do you do when you fry them? Because they have to be fried. Mm-hmm. She said, well, if you just do like tiny bit of breadcrumb, like a panko, and then it's really hot oil, they're flash fried. So it's not like you're really frying it. She said, it cuts a lot of calories and a lot of fat out by getting rid of the rice and whatever. Anyway.
Interesting.
So yeah, first time ever I didn't come home with like bags of stuff.
That's great. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Barb. I am positive.
Yes, you are.
And I guess my brag is I'm involved with it's a friend whose son passed away a couple years ago. He was a Marine, and we do a golf tournament for him. And a few years ago, she asked me if I would help collect donations, and I did that all last week into this week. I collected like 85 donations from different businesses. So I'm very proud of that.
Wow.
Actually went to the place. Yeah. All the places around. So I'm like actually really proud of that.
That's amazing.
Absolutely amazing.
I am Rosie, and I am worthy and deserving of a happy living.
Yes, you are.
Thank you. And my brag is going to be work related. I try not to bring that up too much, but this time I will. So I work in finance, and the company's pretty large. There's 11,000 employees, and I was selected to be one of 8 that get to go to this professional development program for a full week. For this week, we're going to like some university in North Carolina, and it's supposed to help you work on your professionalism and not professional, but like presentations. And it's a pretty big honor that only 8 people get selected in the whole country. So I'm like really excited. You know, there's a lot of people that look forward to getting this opportunity to be part of the program. So I'm happy that I got selected for it.
Congratulations. Great. So do you all see that nobody bragged about their, their poundage or anything? It's really about when we eat better, we feel better, and we live a better life, and we're more present. Do you feel that? That's what I think is the most important part, and that's really why you do this. I mean, it's just to be a better person, to have love, to, like you all say, like love is it's about giving, it's about receiving, right? It's why we're here. It's the essence of our lives, right? It's the most important thing. It is the only thing, and we all have it. It's just it's and that's what we do, is we hide under excess fat, right? So that's our goal. We're gonna let ourselves shine, right? So we can feel the love and we can give the love, right? That's our main thing. So we're just gonna start with a couple things. We're gonna start with one thing. See, what's that in the middle of the floor?
We've been wondering. Dirt?
Do we wonder?
I thought it was dog food.
It's dog food. It's goat food.
Oh.
Doesn't matter what it is. But it's 50 pounds. So there's somebody in this room that has lost 50 pounds. So I'm wondering if you could pick this bag up for me.
Oh, Lisa, congratulations.
Wow. Oh my God!
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, can we get a picture of that? Would that be okay?
Ready? Wow. That's awesome.
Okay. Lisa, can you tell us what that feels like? It's heavy.
It's really heavy.
I don't know how to
So-
walk around with
See her
that.
behind the back. I see her head.
I swear I don't know how to walk around with that.
Wow. That's great.
That's fabulous.
Yeah. So I don't know how I walked around with that. Does anybody, and like I said, this is our safe place, right? Does anybody have a desire to lose 50 pounds? And if you do, I dare you to go up and pick that up and see what it will feel like. If you pick that up right now, I have a feeling it's going to hold inside of you that you are going to know, like, I am going to feel so much better if I let 50 pounds go.
It's no wonder I have energy now. Honestly, I swear, like I just can't.
Exactly,
believe that.
because if we made you carry that for a few minutes.
No matter, I never wanted to go upstairs.
So I just read something too that was, for every pound you lose, it takes 4 pounds of pressure off your knees and 6 pounds off your hips.
Yes.
So that's awesome. When you think about, like, you walking around every day, it's a struggle.
That's great.
That was a good visual.
Good exercise in general, right?
Exactly. Anybody want to pick it up?
Yeah, try. It's heavy.
I'll pick it up because I want to lose.
or 40-pound bags of cat litter, so I'm pretty close to what that feels like.
Wow, you're strong.
Yeah, she is strong.
To lose that much weight, that's feels crazy. Doesn't it? It's like,
Well, you're on your way.
I know, but
You're
still to
close.
think that's what 50 pounds feels like. And it's spread through our body.
So just think about that: the heart, the lungs, all of our organs. You know how much, like Lisa says, no wonder. Because all she said in there last week we met together, I just feel so good. I just feel so good.
I really do.
And I really feel good. and I feel so good. I mean, it must have gone up for like 20 times at how good she felt. And no wonder, right?
It's true. I feel so good. So I think it's a good thing to think about.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And so I just want you to, like, if you can, remember this moment in Lisa. And if anybody else wants to be brave to come up in the middle of the room and feel what that feels like, or, you know, now or later, it's fine.
Before I got on this program, though, I would bring home these heavy bags of cat litter, and I would think, if I keep going, how am I going to manage getting up the steps carrying, you know, my weight and that? So I used to think about that before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How much easier my life would be when I lose that.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. It's like breathing. I mean, Denise is here. She's here with us, but not with us now. She'll watch us. But Denise, you all will meet her soon. I know she's like this figment of a woman. But Denise is, I think she's probably at this point down 60 pounds. Am I right?
She at least 50. And she
She's
walked 3
definitely-
miles the other day.
Yeah.
I said to her, shut up. you do."
So Denise's, I don't think Denise would mind me saying this, but Denise's main goal was to be able to play with her grandchildren. And boy, oh boy, this woman has been, she jets all over the world, but just to be with her grandchildren. And she's now on the ground playing with them. But guess what she's doing right now as we speak? She is flying west to go on a national park tour with her husband. So if she didn't lose the 50-pound bag goat feed, I don't think she would have been like, yeah, Ned, let's go do it. She would have most likely have been, nah, let's just stay in Ocean City, or let's just stay in Florida. So and now she's going to want to, you know, really take advantage of that experience. So that is what you have to look forward to when you lose 50 pounds. I know Lisa was talking about what other things do you want to do, and she's like starting to think, yeah, I have, like, you know, dreaming more because she has that energy, because she feels so good.
Denise, her son lives in Philly, and they have stairs. It's like a 5-level. I mean, it's like 5 steps and then 12 steps, and she could never go up and down with all the kids, and she was up because the kids were sick, and so she flew from Florida. She said, I could go up and down the steps, and she could stay with them. So it was a real positive in April. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I remember that. She told me that. All right. So today we're going to talk about obesogens. So obesogens, and we're going to talk about how they affect our weight and how they affect our health. So it's not going. Okay. Oh, so then just quickly, we're going to go over our announcements. So if everybody hasn't given us your affirmation, just make sure that you send it to us, so then we can send everybody your affirmation that we're going to be able to. Casey designed them, and you'll be able to save it as a screenshot in your phone or into your notepad, so you can look at it on a daily basis. Okay, because remember, what we read, what we become, right? And so if we keep looking at positive things about ourselves, it really helps. We're going forward. Okay, so next week on Thursday, you're going to have something on Kartra. So you're going to have to log in. You're going to have a little homework between now and next week. So if everybody would log in, you know, Wednesday evening, Thursday, you're going to get Carter, you don't know what that is. Your membership site, sorry. Your membership site for Food Home. You're going to get a group. Everybody's going to be assigned a group, and you're going to have some things that you do together. So you'll get everybody's email, you'll get their phone number, you'll get their contact. Some of you are already leaders, so you know that you're a leader. You're going to be the one that reaches out and tries to coordinate. So I just want you all to go on there. The other thing that you're going to find in your membership site, same time, is going to be your herb of the month. Okay, so and some new recipes are going to be there with that, and some reasons why we want to use this herb. Okay, so your herb is parsley, just so you know, if you want to start thinking what that is. So if you wanted to, do you not like parsley?
I love parsley.
Okay, so have you played around with ginger or turmeric or cardamom yet? Yes, you already have. Okay, do you like cilantro?
I do like cilantro.
Okay, so you're just going to play around with cilantro then, okay? Because it's, pretty much the same. Then we have our the daily 3. Just keep paying attention to you. Is everybody doing your daily 3 that you've created for yourselves?
What's a daily 3?
Okay, so you weren't here. So have you gone back into your thing and watched the last class?
No.
Okay, the week before. It was the week before.
Yeah.
The week before, not last week,
Not
but the
last
week
session,
before.
but the one before, yeah.
Did you?
I did.
Okay, did you come up with some daily 3s? Okay, so just try to come up and do that, because basically what you're going to do is those daily 3s are the thing that is bringing you to your success of the end game. Okay, you really want to keep to that. Maybe at this point it's been a couple weeks and you're like, those daily 3s needed to be altered. I know I was talking to somebody in this room and she's still doing it, but she kind of shifted it to another area. It was kind of blanket. She targeted it more now into the kitchen, more into her pantry. So you might take your daily 3 and break it down even a little bit more, or maybe it wasn't the right thing. Maybe you just recognized it. But you need to, and it needs to be something that it's a daily thing. It's something that you focus on. Okay, because now we have our transformation challenge with that daily 3. On the 19th, you're done, and we just want to know what kind of transformations you've seen since you began the program. You have a 2-minute video that you're going to post on your Facebook group. Just go on and post it up. On the 15th, we'll just go over a little bit about how to do a video. So you'll have that as an opportunity. Any questions about that?
So we can alter or change our daily 3?
You can. Yeah. Sometimes we think that things are the right things, and they don't always turn out to be. And we don't know that until we try it. Yeah.
I was just going to ask if anybody minded if I moved turn my chair around so I can see the screen too.
Yeah, that's fine. You could probably even put your chair right there.
Yeah, that's true.
So also, we have this opportunity. There's a couple women in the room that had offered to use their home. I was wondering if we would want to do a potluck. I have a woman who would be interested to do some crystals. She's got some crystals and she makes crystal jewelry. I was thinking of having like a crystal and energy healing potluck. So something a little bit different than what we normally do. One of the dates that she had was Friday the 30th, I think. The 31st. Yeah. I'm sorry, I kept my thing. It's Friday the 31st. I don't know if anybody, is that a good time? Was that something you would want to do? If not, we can come up with a different date. If would anybody interested in doing that?
What time on the 31st?
I would say it would be like 6 o'clock. 6 to, yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. So the next thing we need is somebody to say, yeah, we'll do it at my house.
Well, I would like to volunteer my home, but July would be better.
July would be better.
Better
Okay.
for me, because by then everything I have to take care of is going to be
Very good.
in
Okay.
July. And I have it outside. I would like to have.
You have it outside.
I
Okay,
have
so let
outside
me
area.
see if then maybe she would be willing to do it in July. We'll create a date in July. Okay.
Now, and any date in July, I'm free. My home is free. My
Sounds
home is
good.
open in
Sounds
July.
good.
I'm not available the first week of July.
Not
I'd
the.
love to be a
Could you
part.
write that down? Mhm.
Well, that's because that's Independence Day, or 4th of July.
That's when I go to Houston.
Yeah, I have no. That's really good.
No, you're 15th.
July. The week of the 13th.
What is that?
My trip.
It's the week of the
It's the week of
13th?
the 13th.
So
But
it looks
don't
like
do it
it's
around
probably
me.
the end of the month though, because I'm also away. Probably she's away July. I'm away in some of July.
So
So
like the end of July?
probably the end of July.
That's fine with me. And if that doesn't.
Maybe we can put like a poll on Facebook.
Yeah, we'll do a
Maybe
poll. We'll
get
do a
some
poll and see.
dates and we can have everybody just vote.
Okay, that sounds good. Okay. Supplements. This is a time you may be running out. Just make sure that you continue to take, maybe not everything, but some of them. I did post something out there about the core, if you want to read that, but the core is, there's so many benefits to taking that core supplement, that OPC3, the multivitamin, if you lack energy, the B complex. So just continue with some of those. My experience is food is not enough to be successful. Like you really.
I have a question with the core. So I know we're supposed to take it 30 minutes before a meal. What happens if we take it 15 minutes before a meal?
That's still fine.
Because that was my biggest struggle on the whole detox. Like,
Remembering.
I was
Right.
going nuts. 'Cause
Half
I'm
an
like,
hour.
oh, okay, well, I'll take it now. Well, dinner's not going to be ready for 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah, it's still going to help you.
Yeah.
It's still going to help you.
Is that
for sure.
the pills?
Yes.
Why is that a benefit? I always forget, so I'm not really doing that. I'm doing almost everything else, but.
Okay. There's a myriad, but read the thing because the thing will say it better than me. But it's a benefit for so many reasons. It helps you not have your blood sugar spike. So your blood sugar will help you stay more stable. It'll help you prevent cravings. It'll help you lose weight. It'll help your cholesterol levels. It just helps you feel full. It helps just so many different.
So if it's like once a day instead of twice a day, even.
Then that's still good.
It's still good.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I did notice the diminished cravings, but then I just keep forgetting to take it.
But that happens, and that happens to all of us. It happens to me. But I mean, probably the only person that doesn't is Christina. She's probably the best person I know that takes her supplements. But yeah, so just remember, like, continued success. It's all about also being mindful. It's like taking them keeps you in the game that you're taking care of your physical vessel.
I also realize that I lose weight better when I'm on them, like, because then I forget. Like, I've been really bad with them, like, the last week or so, and but I know that I do better when I'm on them too.
Read the literature. It's actually going over a study, an 8-week study, and they show all the results of the people in the study. And exactly, people that take that regularly do have better weight loss, fat loss percentages, better blood sugar control. I mean, you could see. Just read the thing out
Where
there.
did you say? Is that
It's out on the bulletin
Oh,
board.
And how much is that supplement?
I don't know. It's around. I don't know. It is expensive, but I don't know if it's 60 or 70. Anybody know?
I think it was like, I bought it this morning. I went, but I bought something else too. It might have been like 64.
Yeah, I think. I have a question about it. I know the times that you're supposed to take it, but if you do forget, because I've done this, and take it like hours after, is it effective or I shouldn't do that?
I mean, I don't think it's going to be as effective. I don't know it's necessarily going to hurt, but like if I'm going to spend a $60 supplement, I want to do it right. That's
Just do it the next time.
yeah. Do it the next meal. Huh? End of June?
I'm guilty.
Okay. Okay.
Why not? I could do it.
Okay. Any other questions on that? Okay. Okay, so we do still have a few spots to Greece, just so you know. Once again, it's really nice to bring people that we really like to be with us there. And we're definitely going to have another, like a special food home event while we're there. So just let us know if you're interested in that. We talked about.
Where's the bathroom?
You can? All right, I like it. And so does our.
That's a good thing.
Yes.
No, there's normal bathrooms where we're going in Greece. I was just on the phone with Franz yesterday. He's super excited for us, and he's getting our tours together. He's like, and yeah, we're going on an olive. We're gonna go taste olives, and then we're gonna go on an olive oil tour. And he was just like so excited. So he just got 3 new donkeys in Tuscany, and so yeah, you're gonna love him. It's gonna be great. So let me go to next. Okay, so basically we're going to talk about things that affect our weight besides just what we put in our bodies and exercise. So often it's known that people think that people are overweight because they're lazy and they eat too much. Right? That's generally, and it's not always just that. There's a lot that plays into us being overweight. It's the environment plays a role. The toxic environment absolutely plays a role. It is the food industry. It's them. The food industry is not honest. They're not looking out for our well-being. The government is not looking out for our well-being, okay? So we have been eating foods and studies. Once again, we have had studies over the years, and I know I was told, oh, canola oil, it's the good oil, right? Anybody remember canola oil being the good oil? You know, so who founded those studies? Well, gosh, it was like our good old Monsanto. So we need to, knowing that, we need to learn where our foods come from. Now, what else happens is the environment, chemicals, cleaning supplies, all of these different things. Plastic bottles they all play a role. Opening Cheerio boxes with the pesticide, the preservatives in there. So breads, commercial breads, they look good. They have been stamped by the American Heart Association. They have been, it has whole grains, but yet they have dough conditioners in it and preservatives. All those things, all those toxins cause us to hold on to weight. So it's not until, like you all saw, you were starting to lose the weight that you wanted from eating a whole, real food, plant strong diet, right? That's ultimately, you didn't eat any preservatives, right? You didn't eat lots of things coming out of a box. That is really the key, but there's more to it than just that, and that's what we're going to talk about. GMOs. So can you tell me which button I'm supposed to push? I don't know why it doesn't.
Just the arrow, but for some reason it likes to do it.
Oh, okay. So what other things affect our health is hormones. Stress, and stress affects all of those things. Cortisol levels, we've talked about that before, but environment really plays a role. So obesogens are basically, they're endocrine disruptors that affect our lipid metabolism, our fat metabolism, and they lead to obesity. They change how our energy is stored. They get over and they take over our appetite. Basically, let's go back to that food industry once again. They literally have food scientists that learn how to put things in our food, in those processed foods, that cause us to overeat. That's what their job is. Their job is to make us want to overeat. Caitlin said it really great. She goes to eat Oreos. Well, of course, they know that. They've studied that. McDonald's, they study that. There's there's just so many of them that do that. So we all can be at risk. There's not one of us that's not. And sometimes Carol said it earlier, she had some pasta. We don't know exactly what happened that caused that. Was she sensitive to it? She's sensitive to wheat that caused it. Was it her blood sugar that went crazy? But she kind of went off on a
Like 4 hours later, I stopped at the grocery store.
And then what else did you buy?
Wine.
Wine.
And I had it all.
She went on a bender. She went on a bender. Yep.
And I gained 3 pounds. Well, yeah, but I'm back on. But and good thing is Monday. Well, I came down here Sunday, and I'm just back on. So yeah.
And that's the thing, like, I really want to bring this up because I think it's really important. I don't want anybody to think you're on some you can eat whatever you want to eat. We are allowing that, of course.
Oh, and I got really sick. I got so sick the next day after I ate.
Did you drink?
No, it was the pasta and the chocolate.
And the wine.
Well, the wine I didn't, I had to have a bottle. That wasn't that much. So, but I mean, it was the combination because I haven't had that stuff for so long.
And that's what the key here is. And that's what we're aiming to teach you is being mindful in what your choices are. Because let's go back to what did we talk about at the beginning? That we want to live really great lives, right? We want to live loving lives. We want to be able to do whatever we want to do. We want to be able to go on vacation wherever we want to go on, right? So those experiences, and any one of us that has had those experiences in this since we've started, that we go on a bender, right? But that's an opportunity for growth, right? And it's just being able to get back on to know that really made me feel like crap. Like sometimes I crave a pizza, but guess what? If I do, might have heartburn, might get bloated, then I feel crappy about myself, and then my day off, I'm feeling yucky, and I could be. So it's not worth it. Make your own healthier version of something that you would like. So those are the things you want to really, really learn about. Let's go into the next. Do you want to talk about this part, Casey, about the obesogens and the pathways?
Sure. So basically, this little flow chart, just kind of showing how obesogens affect your fat cells, and they basically, in a way, change how your DNA is transcribed. So our cells obviously don't last through our whole lives. We have to create new cells, and from that, you take the DNA out of like the nucleus, which is in the middle of the cell. It transcribes it, and it creates a new cell out of it. So these obesogens actually change the way that we do that by changing these proteins that are like on the outside of our cells. So when we're taking in all these chemicals and different things from the environment, and food and cleaning products and all the stuff she said, are actually kind of changing our DNA, which changes the way that it expresses as well. So it changes how we store our fat. It kind of puts your body into more of a stressed state over time because you're creating more cells out of the stressed out version of your own DNA.
And I was just listening to a program this week that then that can also be that new genetic can be transcribed to your offspring.
They
So
did, a study, they looked at grandparents and then their children and then the grandchildren, so 3 generations, and they saw that it was an effect.
it's changing. So it's, like think about it. And so think about like Lisa and Carol, just because I know them the longest. Have you made differences and have you inspired others in your life? Have you seen other people making changes just from?
Yes. I'm trying to incorporate it into our like normal family life, like so it's no different. This is what they know now, the foods they know now, and that's what that's my goal. Like that's what I'm trying to do.
And then anybody at work kind of like watching you and wanting to make changes? Is there any that going on?
Denise came because what I was doing, and every time I talk with her, which is like 3 times a week, I won't now, but she's like, "Thank you for finding Georgia. Thank you." That's all she says. So I mean, but I sort of like she couldn't believe I'd be over her house and don't you want to drink? Oh no, I'm okay. And I kept, I guess, modeling kind of in a way. And look she's doing fantastic, walking 3 miles I did go on the boardwalk yesterday because she, made me feel. I walked about a mile on the boardwalk because I was like, she can do 3 miles, I can do a mile.
But Carol, you wouldn't even come in here and take class, and you now have been in here 3 times.
I know.
So
I'm not Miss Exercise, but I'm doing it, and I feel so good after I do it. And I love. You all have to come to bar class when you can. It's so good. And it hurt. I mean, it's hard.
It's hard, but it's worth it.
And you perspire.
Thank you. Yeah, you all need to bring your rack.
Right.
So if anybody wants to have children, what you're doing is a good reason, but just doing what you're doing inspires others. Like you're making this world a better place, right? And I think that's ultimately what we're here for, right? Okay, so pesticides. Pesticides is one of the hugest endocrine disruptors. So pesticides, meaning even if you buy oats and soy and corn in the store, they're sprayed with Roundup, right? The glyphosate, and that is totally causing weight gain, causing cancer. The World Health Organization has deemed it as a carcinogen, right? So really need to keep an eye on that. Lunch meat, it's another one with it's a carcinogen.
I have a more question. So GMOs would be pesticides. So when you see non-GMO,
It's totally different. It's totally different. GMOs, you want to stay away from GMOs like they're like the devil. Like they are like the freaking devil. Now, I know you're going to see that they're safe. They're safe because those people that are writing that are getting paid the big bucks. Okay? And I have done a lot of research, and I'm talking like a lot of research, graduate school research about GMOs, and pretty much anybody that wanted to speak up on the dangers, a scientist, was fired from their university every time. And yes, there's so much liver damage and food allergies. And in my own life as a dietitian, I have not seen so many people bothered and so many food allergies. It's such an increase since the GMOs. They have started in our food supply in 1996. About 80% of our grocery stores are filled with GMOs. But that also means you see diabetes, you're seeing cancer. We're all affected by that, right? We're seeing that. But so GMOs, we want to stay away from. Where are GMOs? They're soy, corn.
Pretty much all corn, right? I've heard that.
Pretty much all corn. You have to
corn
get organic, but those are your
organic's not necessarily.
Okay, we're going to have a big list coming up.
Oh,
We'll
okay,
talk
sorry.
more about that. Solvents, BPA. Okay, so here's one. Plastics, all plastics, plastic containers, cash register reducers. Who even thinks like that? Flame retardants. So even like you go to Target and you're buying your pajamas, they have flame retardant, and that's freaking adult. So those type of things we don't think about. But all of those clothings, they're putting our bodies at risk. And I don't know. Mattresses. Yeah, mattresses is huge. Teflon pans.
What about the ceramic coatings?
We were just talking about that. They are better.
They're
They
better,
are
but
better.
not.
They're
Ceramic, the coatings on your pan, not Teflon, but ceramic coatings.
So, we did some research, but some of the research that we're coming is not. We didn't find people that are really, really studying it. We tried. We couldn't get deep into it. We need to find some nonprofit that's doing some research, but
it's better
not
than the Teflon or the.
It's absolutely better than the Teflon. But like my daughter says, Mom, you don't understand. DuPont outlawed the Teflon, but they just took it and they altered another chemical, and they haven't gotten caught yet. It takes a lot of money to change. So that's her point of view with that. When we did it, we're like, oh, it sounds okay, but like I'm not a scientist and to be able to figure that. Kat, I think we have this in there, right? As we move along, we have our recommended as we move along this PowerPoint, but endocrine disrupting chemicals interfere with how our hormones work in our body. you dealing with ships and the paint and all that water and all that chemicals. So for you, it's like you're starting to see, I think. Cheryl had a business. She was cleaning boats for many years, and I think like she did this liver cleanse with us, and now she's like, what's going on? Why am I losing weight? Her thing was, I never can lose weight. I never can lose weight. Now her weight just keeps going down and down and down. And so I feel like she had a lot of those toxins like stored up, and now.
Can I add
Of course.
Okay, so last summer I had pretty major surgery. I had a mesenteric mass removed from my abdomen and I had a resection on my bowel. Oh, wow. So it was a benign mass, but to this day they can't tell me where that came from. But I went to Penn. I was at Penn, and it's all student teachers, but they kind of steered me in. It's chemical related, like somehow I guess from whatever went into my hands or whatever. So they're not for sure, but most likely that mass has been growing in me for a long time, and they do feel it sides more to being chemically generated. So I'm very fortunate it wasn't horrible, but still it was really big, and my belly just kept getting bigger and bigger, and I was like, why is I wasn't eating, I wasn't gaining weight, I just kept getting bigger. That's what it was. And I still have something inside of me, but it's a cyst. But they're gonna leave it there because it would have been another like 5-hour surgery or something. I had enough cuts under follow.
Yeah.
They can't tell me what that's from either. Like there's no blood work, and when they dissected what did they do? Biopsy the mass. They were like, we're calling it mesenteric because we can't put a finger on what caused it. So yeah, I do think my years of breathing, painting, cleaning products, never wore gloves, I never wore mask. I think a lot of it has
And
to
she
do
was
with
and you were in the sun during all of that.
Yep.
So
it baked it into me.
So the PFOAs, basically those are your nonstick, water resistant clothing, rain jackets, stain resistant couches, there's DuPont that they put in our cars, all of that is stuff that are endocrine disrupting for us, also causing cancer, weight gain. So things to use, there's stainless steel pans, and cast iron. Cast iron also gives you a good way to get some iron.
I just want to tell people to be careful with the cast iron, because I had bought one thinking, oh, it's cast iron, and then the black started coming off. So I threw that away, and when I went and saw my cousin, she's like, no, what's the really good brand? Lodge cast iron. So she gave me one that she's had for 20 years. I mean, so just be careful if you buy a cast iron. I love it to death.
Good to know.
And just make sure you know how to season it and clean it. So if anybody gets one, you don't know, ask me.
Okay. And there's one called Made Safe. You can look for that seal too. I think that's a nice.
And buying stuff made in USA, not China. So if you buy a cast iron, it says made in China.
Yeah, and you don't want to buy any food in China, any food from China either. Okay, so here's talking about what we were just talking about. Do you want to talk about this? Or just...
Sure. So with the whole thing with the environment, we're just looking at basically the pollution, and this is going back into even like the 80s and 90s, and they didn't have such strict rules. They used to be able to just dump things into the environment, and everyone thinks, oh, it was so long ago, it's fine now. But these chemicals stay around forever. They go into the soil, they go into the environment, and they don't really have a way to leave because they're so toxic. So what happens is they end up going down to the bottom of the ocean. They'll go get absorbed into the sand, the soil. They'll grow up through the plants. The little, creatures at the bottom of the ocean will eat the plants and the seaweed, and then the fish eat those creatures, and it just bioaccumulates. So like a bigger fish eats a little fish, and then a bigger fish comes around and eats that one. So by the time you get to say like salmon or tuna, that's been bioaccumulating for however many months or years through this process. And that's why the bigger fish, they say, are more toxic, because they're eating all these little fish that have all these stores of toxins in them. So, you know, we have some recommendations, like that's why people say, like, we want to try to do smaller fish, like fresh water. Sometimes they say is a little bit there, but generally it's so hard to know. And like we said with the labeling, like you never know where it really came from.
So I do have something right now. I wrote something yesterday. I started to write a blog, so you'll get that in a little bit about like how to buy fish, which fish to recommend. So that'll come.
Seaweed too.
Seaweed?
Yeah. I haven't thought about it, but that's probably what they bought too.
Yeah, but yes,
Definitely not as much. It's as you get higher in the food chain, like to the top of the food chain, that's where you're gonna have like more issues.
and it's growing. You know, it's constantly repopulating. So seaweed's a really great thing to actually put in your diet. Like more important.
It's called nori.
Nori.
So is that okay?
Oh, it's super great. Yes.
But it's processed. No.
No.
It comes in packets.
It's like
Yeah, but it's not
dried out.
processed. It's dried.
yeah.
They're taking
Okay,
it
so
and they're just patting it and drying it. Yeah, no, it's not. It's
Okay, it's okay.
clean. Yeah.
I know what you mean
It's
though,
great.
'cause you take it out of the crinkly package and you're like,
Oh, okay. Like they come in strips. Like
Or sheets. Yeah.
yeah, sheets. Yeah.
And you know, you can even take nori. Now, think about it. How are you going to put that in your diet? Is you can even take like a salad, you know, and wrap your nori, and so
I eat
good.
it as a snack. It's a potato
make
chip.
your
Kate Rosie's like, no way.
This is overwhelming. Like, as right now, I can't when I go into the work with my seaweed snacks, they all think I'm crazy.
But you can eat seafood. It's just you want to watch the types of seafood you get. You want to aim not to get farm fish. You want to get wild fish, wild caught.
Even if it's local, like if you go to a local market here, like one of those Bob's, or not Bob's, but that one Woodburns.
Okay, so what's your question?
Like, are you better off than going to a local place and they just go out and fish out here and bring it in? Is that
Well,
better?
yeah, that would be better because it's going to be fresher, of course, and they're going to get what's in season. And because basically you want to be discerning on your own. Does it look good if it's a whole fish? Are the eyes clear? Does it smell? If it doesn't smell, you're in pretty good shape. You know, you want to talk to the person who's getting the fish. If they know where it came from, oh my gosh, it's great. You don't know where things, people lie. I hate to say it, but in the fish and meat industry, they lie. They don't tell us the truth. So somebody that's a farmer that knows that he was just, John went just out there and he got it, blah, blah, blah. And he's going to tell the story. You're like, I want that fish.
Okay.
You know, that's absolutely the fish you want.
You can see the difference though with farm raised and, like you said, fresh. Like it's always darker. Like for example, salmon. The farm raised fish is like a lighter pink, but then the fresh one is that darker, richer pink color.
Exactly. So what happens is the salmon eat those krill. How do we say that word that you take that supplement? Astaxanthin. Astaxanthin. I need a class. Astaxanthin. I got it. All right. So they eat that creates that peachy, fleshy color, right? So farm fish, they have to put the coloring in because if they don't, it's gray. Farm fish is gray without putting the color, right? And farm fish, they feed fish meal, soy meal, and even chicken. What fish have you ever seen eats chicken? It doesn't make sense. So you're not getting those omegas and those, you know, the DHAs.
I heard that they feed them like corn.
Yeah. They'll do
Like
sorting
filler.
Any filler. So that's not going to feed your body. So you want to stay away from that at all costs.
But like if you see salmon and it says Atlantic, that means that's not wild, is it?
No, you want to stay away from Atlantic salmon. Stay away from Atlantic salmon. You want to get wild caught. Alaskan or Pacific or Norwegian. But think about it once again. Get Norwegian, but how long did that fish have to travel? Like, I mean, it's not about, like, it still might be okay, but think about the carbon footprint. It's just, can we, like Lisa said, can we go meet the fishermen? Guess what? They need to make a living, right? So let's support people that are local, that are here growing, so they don't have to go get a job at Walmart that have been fishermen in Cape May or in Barnegat forever. Like, let's support them.
Local people are they going to scale it and fillet it? Yeah, I don't know how to do a fish.
Yes, they are. Yes.
But all these numbers. But if you go to all,
Yeah, come on, don't say that. I've done it before with my grandma when I was also.
Yeah. If you go to Aldi's has lots of fish, and you have to be careful, but they have wild caught scallops, which are really good, and they have the Alaskan salmon, and they're smaller fillets. They're $10. You get like Aldi's, and they're so fresh. I mean, they're fresh, frozen. But
Which is good.
Yeah, but just, I mean, it's worth it.
Good. And so, if we see wild caught, because I've been doing wild caught for a while, are we to assume that it's just automatically good? Because marketing is tricky.
It is tricky.
You know, sometimes say on the back of the package where it's from.
Right. So it's two things we should be looking for.
And they're
China.
No China. So I should be going to the Asian market.
I would never.
No, I don't buy fish from there, but I buy things from the Asian market. But
Yeah.
You saying no?
You could buy things from there, but just don't buy anything there from China. Nothing.
Period.
Nothing. They're just don't.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
No, don't be sorry.
I
I'm
did.
sorry.
Well, the dog food, all the dogs that are having all this cancer and stuff, it's all the food coming from China.
So we have other examples that be careful of. Canned food products, you want to careful. You want to get the BTA free. Careful of your water. You know, even if you do bottled water, can you not do bottled water? Can you get a filter? Can you use a water bottle? Is your tap water really okay and you don't know it? But can you get, if not, if you don't know if your water is good, so we have right here the ewg.org. It is also in your, it's also in your membership site. You could type in Linwood, find out, or wherever you live, find out if your water is good. Yeah, if you smell it,
and it's pretty low. It's like 54. If you get a zero water filter, it comes with a little tester, so you can test your waters and test your filters when it's done. And so zero water is a 5 process filter, so it's better than the other ones.
and so those are just some things to think about. Pharmaceuticals, they really play a role. If anybody's on any antidepressants, antidepressants cause you to gain weight because they actually make you have sweet cravings. You remember when we worked at Woodbine, all of those Abilify and Seroquel, any of those other types of medications cause you to gain weight. They cause you to not have any energy. You don't want to do anything. Shower curtains, things, air fresheners, another big one, like Casey said, mattresses, toys. So the list continues. But so those are things just to think about. Is there another option for me? Is this something I could, do I need this? Is there a better way? When we talk about air fresheners, can I use essential oils? Because I know everybody knows a friend that has a business selling, and we all do, selling essential oils, right? Go see, what do you have? Let me, then go to another friend and try another one. They all have them, just.
And the soy candles, are they? Because I switched to soy.
Soy candles are better, yes. But still, who knows? Like my daughter would say, there's indoor air pollution. But you see me, I flare in a candle, but she doesn't know. So once again, limiting your exposure to cancer, dementia. These are things that you want to think about. Blood sugar issues, hormonal imbalances. The BPA, this is like that plastic causes fatty liver, causes fat to store in the abdomen, causes diabetes, there's hormone disruptions. So these are just things. MSG, it's hidden in lots of things, usually like soups, all of those Asian style meals. And it might say like natural flavors, or it might say glutamic acid.
You know I'm Asian style. Fish.
But you're not saying, but it's not saying you can't have that, but just being careful, because they MSG is an endocrine disruptor. You know, it's, I mean, I don't know for you, but it makes me have like, I don't know, like I pulse or something, and
like my hands
I get like, I don't know, there's something really strange with, I could feel that in my body.
I heard that is what is it? And it's not real. Like you only experience those symptoms because you know you're not well, because you hear that it's not good for you, but it's nothing wrong with it. That's
I know you've heard that, but I've literally felt it in my body.
Because you know, that's what I'm saying. Like they said that you only feeling it because you know.
But I at the same place, like I've been eating at the same, like I'm thinking about being in Little Saigon and ate there for years as a date with my husband. And I went this one day and I had, and it like literally like, I didn't think it was going to have it because it never did before, but it was like a different time. I went at lunch instead of dinner. So it was like a different cook. And I literally was like.
So they say it's in everything, and MSG is in everything. Like tomatoes, everything.
Like processed stuff.
No, fresh tomatoes. They say. I was watching a documentary about it. Cause I guess
Okay, so tomatoes, what I'm thinking is MSG has like the umami flavor. Tomatoes, when you cook it, has the umami flavor of and it can create when you cook it, and mushrooms. So it has glutamate in it, but it doesn't mean that it's MSG. It's just another, glutamate is in MSG, but it's not the same. They're not the same thing. Mushrooms and tomatoes and MSG are totally different. It's just,
this is like a synthetic version of a natural occurring thing, because they're taking, I don't know, you can't see it up there because it's so small, but they're taking the glutamate and they're changing it into monosodium glutamate. So they're like biochemically engineering it. They're adding like a sodium molecule basically to it to stabilize it and make it be a preservative for junk foods. So that's basically why it's in there as a preservative.
Yeah. Okay.
This is what I'm doing in school,
so we're not going to go into this because I know we're going late. But artificial sweeteners, they destroy the microbiome. They affect the metabolism. People who use artificial sweeteners eat 300 to 500 extra calories a day. They cause leptin resistance, and it makes you crave more sweets because there is an increase in blood sugar. And guess what else? It might not be good for your health. These are just some other times, basically they're at least 100 times sweeter.
200 is the smallest.
What's that? Stevia?
Stevia is an herb, so that's another one. Stevia, monk fruit, they're a good choice. Somebody in here made something with monk fruit. Who just did it? Janine did. She used monk fruit to make a dessert for Easter.
What is monk fruit? Is it like a powder, or is it an actual fruit?
Yeah, it's like crystal. It's like crystal.
Is it by the Bob? I think I saw it. Was it in that Bob's Mill in that
Probably.
area?
I didn't notice it. Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
they sell it in Sugar Oil sometimes.
Where? Bonterra. How much is it?
I want to say it's under $5.
Is it better than a stevia?
Oh yeah.
I like it a lot.
I like it.
I don't like stevia.
What's monk fruit? Ramo was monk fruit.
Yeah.
It's like an orange color
It's like it's nickel equals like sugar.
I like it because it does, like Trina says, it doesn't have an aftertaste. I like it.
It's really good.
I don't like stevia personally, but
No, I don't either.
so what to use instead? Like local, organic, or best. date sugar. But once again, these are things as a treat, right? This isn't like, hey, just because it, said it's okay, it's like we're going to go and do it every day. If you're going, start to change your recipes up. But if you do want to eat something sweet, get some fruit or eat a couple dates. It's like, it usually takes care of it. Pharmaceuticals. So I want to be careful of those because they really mess up our system. And usually there's, when we take more than one, there's more interactions that happen.
What about allergy medicines, do you know?
Like
Claritin or...
As far as endocrine disruptors, I don't know. I haven't seen people on allergy medicine causing weight gain. I haven't seen that personally. So.
What about blood pressure medicine?
No. But ultimately, a lot of times people that lose weight and go off of it and they change their diet and they're able to go off of it. Okay, so we talked about these antipsychotic medications a little bit. I don't want to keep you here all night, so I'm going to kind of go. And yeah, just, being careful about antidepressants. I'm not saying that anybody should stop antidepressants, but if you need them, you need them. But sometimes you're on them and they don't always serve you. And, they're not always doing what you need them to do. And maybe some, therapy and learning some meditation and some, Tai Chi or yoga can help you with that. Exactly. Vitamin, you could be deficient in calcium, believe it or not, and be depressed. More chemical disruptors, nicotine, cigarettes, air pollutants, parabens, preservatives. Those are all makeup, lotions. So the body has more than one way to defend its fat stores. So basically genetics, like I think we talked a little bit about that. Basically we have genes that we can turn on genes that are good and we can turn them off. So it's really by our lifestyle, by our diet, by us detoxifying, by us sleeping, by us exercising. Okay, so fat regulation is complex, it's dynamic. It's easier to gain weight than to lose weight based on those three factors. Fat cells live over 10 years, maybe 11 years, believe it or not. They're crazy. So the body wants to, they keep those fat cells. They don't necessarily go away. They just shrink. Okay, so basically they're like fat cells. We want them to get smaller because that excess, when they're swollen and they're big, they're filled with estrogen, right? And that is what causes us to get breast cancer, to get cancer, right? Those are the things. So we want them to be small, and when they're large, they also start to multiply, and then they just want to fill up, right? So we want to keep them small. They're really, like I said, they're really stubborn. So we want to, keep them in a nice, we want to take care of them, but we want them to let their toxins go by eating properly, by eating all of the vegetables, so they can stay where they are. Once they're small too, we have our leptin working properly, meaning we know when we're full. When they're big, we don't always know, so we want to keep that in place. So these hormones communicate with the brain, the liver, and the pancreas. These fat cells release hormones. Didn't that look like the same?
Yeah, but it's
I went back. Okay. Okay, so what can we do to avoid obesogens? Basically, aim to prepare as many meals and snacks as possible. That way you know what's in your food, you know, when we go out to eat. Casey said something taught me last week about the restaurant. And we were talking about peanut oil. Can you share that with them?
Oh, about like
Mhm.
I tell you, I don't remember.
Well, nowadays
soy
they
oil.
can't use peanut oil
Yeah, it's an allergen.
because it's an allergen. So now they're using soy oil at restaurants. So what did we talk about earlier? Anybody remember? GMO oil, right? So now they're using soy. It's a cheap GMO oil that we go to restaurants and now so we have to be careful. That's what they're putting in our food. And then what happens when they're frying the oil?
I told you.
So they're using this oil over and over and over again. So
You're supposed to.
creating right, but they're creating, you know, so many free radicals. And so we would need to be taking, like, if we eat out, we need to take tons of more antioxidants than we already do. So the best is just eat at home. Don't get takeout as much. You know, do your best. Maybe make a little bit more so you have some leftovers. Freeze some foods. See if that's like probably the biggest takeaway that I would say there. Avoid artificial preservatives. Avoid hydrogenated fats. Looking there, if it says partially hydrogenated, no, do not buy. There's something else, because if they're putting that in there, they've got other stuff in there.
So that's in the ingredients.
Yeah, you'll say like hydrogenated corn oil or hydrogenated soy oil.
You want to stay away from palm oil.
Anything that's like a long like that, and you're like, what is that?
So buying organic, grass-fed, wild caught. What's that?
Palm oil is bad for you.
Palm oil is bad for you, and it's bad for the environment. Think of it.
Highly processed. I mean,
But it's easy to avoid that. Think about it. This is conscious shopping, conscious eating. It's so much more fulfilling and rewarding than reading stuff for a calorie. I'm not going to eat that because it's a calorie, or I'm not going to eat that because of fat. It's thinking, who grew this? Is it good for the earth? Is it good for the children? Is it good for my body? Right? If you think about it that way, it's much easier to put that back, because, think about it. You're going to Starbucks, right? And you're like, just an example, and you see all that stuff, and you're like, I really could go for something. And then you don't see the label, so you're like, okay, it's fine. But then you do see the label because they're putting them out there, and you look at the thing, and you're like, oh my gosh, there's, palm oil in here. There's high fructose corn syrup in here. And then you're like, oh no, I can't eat that. So it's easy. But it wasn't that easy. Oh, it's only 350 calories. Oh, I can eat that, whatever, I'll just do. But it's just so much easier to make that choice, a conscious choice. I don't know if I'm articulating that properly, but
the reason why I asked you about palm oil is because I was in Wegmans, minding my own business, and this man came to me and proceeded to tell me how palm oil is good. Like when you cook it, you don't lose nutrients or whatever. And then he swore by this palm oil. And me, I did buy a jar. And now you're telling, this has been like a year ago, I still like have it, but
okay, well, good.
It's no good. Okay.
No,
I
don't
mean,
want to use it.
Okay.
And where did you come from? Instead of where did the salmon come from? Like, where did you come from?
Okay. I had a moment.
You're lying.
So yeah, so just summarizing again, buy organic. If when possible, we're going to give you a little which ones in a minute. Buy grass-fed if possible, wild caught, buy local, buy seasonal. Go to farm markets. Go there. There's the Windy Acres farm down in Ocean View. we're just going to share something with you. I don't know, we have it later in here, but Misfits Organics, it's something that you can, it's not the most beautiful produce, but $20 a week, you know, or whenever you want, can get right delivered to your store of or to your door of organics. So it's on your member site, so you can,
Is that
you
like
know,
a
click on
co-op?
it. It's not even a co-op. You can either choose to get it or not. Or you could just, like this one week, you want to try it. But like I said, it's like
Everything's delivered.
So
What
it's
about
also
this
sort of-
Windy Acres? Is that
Windy Acres, just they're on Facebook, but you go pick up and once again, it's just you pick up a box with whatever you want, and then there's extra stuff. Well worth it. They also harvest salt. They actually they harvest salt, and they do something else.
They produce
They do one other thing.
organic farm. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why I don't know what they do, but they do one other thing.
What's it called?
Did anybody?
Yeah.
Benciva?
It's in a bottle too.
Did anybody ever go to Linwood Farmers Market on Saturdays? Is there any organic places there?
I didn't go this year.
They're
I
not
think so.
very
She's pretty healthy.
Yeah, that sounds organized.
Yeah, I don't go there. It's Saturday. I'm home on Saturday. So, but I want to quickly finish this up before everybody has to go home. So, and then just ask, you know, do you use herbicides? Do you use pesticides? And no matter what, wash your food, wash your produce. I'm not going to necessarily go over organic versus conventional, although.
We can talk about that when we do our grocery tours.
Okay. We'll go over basically nutrient density is basically not necessarily the focus. If you know, there's always going to be a fight that organic isn't better, but those are all those statements in the media and the press are always funded by those food industries, but funded by the conventional farming, not necessarily. So it's really those obesogens that we want to really watch out for.
What could they possibly say about organic vegetables that would be bad?
They're overpriced and they don't help, and there's no difference.
Thank you.
I had this fight with
Oh,
my daughter,
really?
and trust me, I'm devastated. Well, the started.
And then it definitely tastes better.
But you know, they try to raise kids, and it's a lot more money. And if they hear that they don't really benefit,
But here we go, right here, everybody, ewg.org. This is where you can know for people. These are the ones that you want to stay away from, the dirty 12, the dirty dozen. Strawberries. I didn't read this year yet. I didn't get to look on it yet. But last year, there was 24 pesticides in one strawberry. 24 in one strawberry. That is bloody ridiculous.
yeah.
I know, that's not whole.
Yeah.
Just buy 'em organic. That's all.
So these are the ones that if you wanted like know where to start, these are the ones to start. Or guess what? I just don't buy a strawberry until they're in season. I just don't eat strawberries all the way until June. Personally, that's go. And then if you want, you can eat them from maybe a conventional farm around here. They might have some pesticides, but they're not going to have 24. Like, right?
I
So-
think they have frozen organic strawberries
At
Aldi.
At Aldi. Yeah, so that's a great option. So spinach is one you want to get organic. Kale is another. Oh my gosh, I was
Kale's
just reading
newly added to
something.
the list.
They have newly added, and but I think it's because I don't know. Anybody else grow kale at home?
I'm starting.
You're starting to. How many of you had your experiences where those little bugs and they take over, right? And so, yeah, if they're gonna, what happens is kales become, right? They hit food, right? So the supply has gotten big. So our conventional farmers aren't very good at crop rotating. Whenever we put too many crops at a certain place, right, we end up having more pests. So that's why we have them now newly added to the dirty dozen, because it's just not being properly. So we grow your own. I mean, it's easy. Kale's easy. Kale's a simple one to grow. Nectarines, apples, grapes, peaches, cherries, pears, tomatoes, celery, and potatoes, believe it or not. Gosh.
Celery's tough because organic
Getting
celery.
all worked up.
I'm getting all worked up. All worked up because I have potatoes that my husband bought. They were not. So anyway, the clean 13. So this is now that's the 15.
Yeah, it used to be 13.
So they added. So these are foods that are okay to buy that aren't organic. Avocados, corn, but remember we're gonna get non-GMO,
They're okay to buy what?
non-organic.
Okay.
Pineapples, sweet peas, onions, papayas, eggplants, asparagus, kiwi, cabbage, cauliflower, cantaloupe, broccoli, mushrooms, and honeydew melon.
Really, the mushrooms? I really thought the mushrooms.
Yeah, I think like I thought onions were on the other list.
Well, think about it. Mushrooms are grown in the dark. They're just like
there's
in
not
a-
much like water content. Like most of the things on the left have a higher water content than on the right, so they're gonna hold in more inside of them. Just
or they have a
Yeah.
tough skin.
I'm really
Yeah.
glad to know about the onions because for some reason organic onions go bad
I don't know
so
if I
quick.
ever did.
So-
Yeah, I thought that was one that was on the 30 dozen.
And they just might be old by the time they get there. Or
Yeah, they
Did
don't
you
last
ever
very long.
Here where you take, like if you get fresh fruit, like blueberries or berries, that you soak them in, it's a 1/4 to 3/4 ratio vinegar versus vinegar water. That really worked. If I soak my fruit, whether it's organic or not, in that for like 15 minutes, I'm probably doing it too long. That fruit lasts so much longer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, what is
It's 1/4 to 3/4, like 1/4 vinegar to 3/4 water, and I just soak.
I never
I've
thought
heard
to
of
wash
that.
my berries
Yeah.
until right before using them. So no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I've been doing it for a while.
And it
it's-
works.
And it works. It does make my fruit last like maybe
Interesting.
another week longer than it normally.
How about that?
You have to rinse it after you soak
I
it?
just rinse it quickly.
Yeah.
If you don't taste it, they
I was just
don't
gonna ask,
taste like
don't taste the
vinegar. I mean,
vinegar?
you don't.
You use apple cider vinegar?
I just use
Just white vinegar.
I think apple cider might make change
Yeah.
the.
But white vinegar is not the best for you, is it?
No, but for that
Right,
reason,
for that reason.
and that reason, cleaning your floors, getting things. Oh, did you want that back?
I can post
Oh,
it up
yeah.
too. I'll
Yeah,
put
I
it
was-
on.
we
I'll
were
put
thinking
it on.
of, like,
I'll put it on.
Thank you.
You can actually, I'll put the link to, there's a thing you can click it and print it out and see how there's just little dotted lines. You can actually cut it out and fold it and it fits right in your wallet when you go to shopping.
Okay.
I'm trying to get the cards, but they didn't let them out yet. My daughter works for that company, so
really?
she's the beauty. She's the beauty person. She trusts the beauty products, all the makeups and stuff. What's that?
Has it on you and tell her all the stuff I use?
So once again, being that conscious consumer, right? Read your labels. Get your USDA organic or 100% certified. Look for that. Only organic from the U.S. Know where your food came from. These are really key things.
So you're saying Mexico organics are no good?
No. If it's from Mexico,
Oh, okay.
but it's got USDA seal,
Oh,
it's
okay.
okay.
I got confused.
Yeah, we already talked about this part. Okay, avoid food high on the food chain. Casey started to say shark, swordfish, bluefin tuna, halibut, mackerel. Better choice: Pacific salmon, herring, pollock, anchovies, sardines, cod, sole. I think we're going to talk more about meat a little bit later. Talk about, gosh, I didn't realize this was so long. Sorry, guys. So we talked about GMOs. We talked about this already.
I have a question about the soy though.
Okay.
Soy GMOs and everything.
Yes.
When you eat like soy, you shouldn't eat soy at all.
No, I don't think so. Guess what?
No, that's not GMO.
I know there's a lot of people that follow that research about, women shouldn't eat soy, right?
Well, it causes hot flashes for real.
Causes?
It does.
Okay, wait a second. I read years ago a study in Japan that Japanese women don't get hot flashes or breast cancer as a rule.
Right.
And
And
they attributed
I
it to
was
soy
just
meat.
reading something yesterday from who was it? Dr. Bernard. And so he's like the big deal. He's saying that 30% eating tofu, soy, you are 30% less likely to get breast cancer I know about other people have that other research, but and even if you've had cancer, you're 30% less likely to get it again. So I think it's, to me, you know, have some, but try to get organic. You know, we'll definitely.
Yeah, it's non-GMO, so a lot of it is the soya.
Yeah, they'll put it
It's
on.
non-GMO and organic. If it says it on the label,
It has to have that little USDA.
And then it's okay to eat.
Yeah.
I don't eat it that often anyway, but just for.
But do you feel that personally? You feel the hot flash?
I have experience, like when I used
I mean,
to drink
it's
soy
a-
milk.
It's a highly
Soy milk
allergenic
is not
food
good for
also.
you?
So exactly.
Yeah,
So it is one of the 8.
Yeah. I like drinking soy milk. I don't
It's
drink
highly allergenic.
What's that?
I asked for soy milk good for you because that's all I drink is soy milk.
Yeah,
I used to.
so just aiming to get organic soy milk, so we're not eating the GMO. But yeah, I mean, I think that fun.
Audie has a really good selection of organic and non-GMO stuff. Yeah, we are.
I love Aldi. I started when I was about 45 taking soy isoflavones, just because I had read that article and I was going through some mild depression, moodiness, perimenopause. Never had a hot flash. I took them like all the way till I'm 60. I'd be 63. I took them till I was like 58 probably.
Yeah, I haven't had. I eat soy a lot, you know, and I haven't had a hot flash yet. But I haven't had my period. I've had my period once in the past year.
Maybe it's
So
from something else you ate, or something consistently happens.
but you might be allergic to it.
Yeah,
Okay, so once again, water, it's on your member site. You can definitely check out, you know, reverse osmosis is definitely one of the you know, a highly recommended one. Kim gave one that she's really happy with. So you can go look at that.
Yeah. And they're not that expensive. It's worth it. The zero water filters.
Okay, so we did put, this will be on your member site, Misfits Market. If you go on there, there's the link to get a discount. So go on your site to click through the discount, okay? And then we also put Grove. You can also have the link too for Grove. This is where you can get some good cleaning products, other personal care products like tampons and things of that nature.
They're cheaper than Trader Joe's and stuff.
But like because you're doing it for the first time, they usually have like a good deal where if you buy like $20 worth of stuff, they send you like a little kit free. So you get like a little spray bottle and a caddy and a dishwasher.
Did you get it?
Walnut scrubber sponge.
I did it the day that you posted. I said, thanks for the.
I saw that you did. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, my daughter got a bunch of stuff from it.
I've been wanting to get into the Meyer type plan.
Yeah. So they have some good stuff. So yeah, so you have some good stuff to focus on. I know it was a lot of information, but we'll go over it again. We'll go more when we go